Electrical retailers may be having it tough, but for the rental market, it's a different story. Thorn Group, with brands like Radio Rentals and Rentlow, posted its half-yearly profits today, and the CEO and MD, John Hughes, joins me now in the studio. John Hughes, welcome to the programme.
Good evening.
Well, a 38% profit increase and a 28 to 34% profit outlook. Something's going right in the rental business?
Yeah, we think that we certainly have got the structure right of our organisation. Very good customer offering out there. I think that one of the big opportunities for us is that people today see rental far differently to what they did years ago. Our rent, try, buy style of proposition provides people with the flexibility of rental plus the potential for ownership in the future. So, the world has changed for rental.
What does this say about the economy at the moment? Does it say that the economy is actually doing better than we thought? Or, in fact, because the rental market is so much better than the buy market, that perhaps it is softer?
I think there's certainly a high level of economic uncertainty. Personally, I don't believe in a two-speed economy. I think there's a multi-speed economy that's out there. Take away the resources style of boom in Queensland and Western Australia and consider that there are areas like Generation Y. The under 30-year-olds, they don't know how to spell the word save, and any interest rate increase isn't going to dampen their effect.
Well, and they're the ones that, of course, that are in your business,
yeah.
In your business, aren't they?
Yeah, and there's a lot in our area. They're also the people that drive the growth of organisations such as JB Hi-Fi, and I think they do an excellent job in addressing that area of the market, and of course with product like Apple in particular. Then, of course, you've got the older segment of the population, myself, the baby boomers, etc. Exposure to mortgages, yes, but to a much lesser extent, or it may even be because of investment properties. You then have 21% of the population, 44% of the workforce, a lot of them Generation Y out there is that group, plus a bit more, highly leveraged with mortgages, etc. The last thing that they needed, and I certainly agree with Gerry, is that 0.25% recent increase. And I think with interest rate increases being a very blunt style of instrument, the government, etc., needs to consider that this is very different for different demographics, and it's just not a one solution.
What about employment? Do you see that as rosy?
No, I don't. I think that what hasn't been taken fully into account is the underemployment, which is large and it's growing. If you're working, if you lose a full-time employment and you're working just 10, 12 hours a week, that's not enough to pay the rent and to keep the food on the table. From what I've discussed with some of the leading economists, they say if you added underemployment to unemployment currently, you're closer, if not above, 10%. And I think that, along with the factors of uncertainty, etc., and the hit for that mortgage belt in the middle, I don't think things are as rosy, and that is being demonstrated in the discussions that I've had with many colleagues in all areas of retail that are saying it's either soft, it's difficult, it's poor. No one has said, hey, it's a great time.
Right, talk to me about the online business, because you're actually pulling out of Big Brown Box, which 6 months ago you said was fledgling, but you were going to grow it. What do you think of the online business and Gerry Harvey's view about GST?
I think that online and strategically, Big Brown Box still has a lot of merit, hence why we've had interest from people to purchase our investment in it. But you've got to look at the reality of what retail is today. We stood back as an executive and a board and said we could certainly sustain the investment into it longer term, but we then compared that to other opportunities in developing areas of our business, such as Cash First, our Thorn Business Services, etc. And we said, well, where are we best to actually allocate our resources and our focus? And to us, given the softness of retail and from our research and advisory, that it's not going to get too much better for the next year or 2 years. So we just took a very pragmatic approach to say we've got better things to do with our time, effort and energy. I still believe, as Gerry has said, burgeoning growth within internet online retail, and I do share some of his sympathy relative to GST. What you can purchase items like cameras today, I believe that camera retailers finding it very, very tough versus the pricing that people can purchase overseas on the internet.
Very briefly, Thorn Business Services for small and medium enterprises. Do you see that as a growth area given the state of the economy?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been recent reports from Dun & Bradstreet that there are a lot more and a growing number of businesses that are finding it difficult with regard to their financing. cash flows, etc. We had Societe Generale pull out of this marketplace only a couple of years ago, and they were funding some $400 to $600 million a year in servicing that area of the market. So, yeah, it's a huge opportunity.
All right, John Hughes, well, I hope you have a good Christmas. Thank you very much for joining Lateline Business.
Thank you.